In the year 610, the world was dominated by two great empires trapped in an endless war. The Byzantine Empire controlled the ancient cities of Constantinople, Damascus, and Jerusalem. To the east, the mighty Sasanian Empire reigned from Persia with its armies clashing across the deserts of Mesopotamia. Between these superpowers stretched an inhospitable peninsula that neither empire bothered to conquer, Arabia. Here, proud Bedouin clans roamed intimate deserts, following ancient codes of honor and blood vengeance. At the crossroads of this forgotten land stood Mecca, a trading city built around a sacred black stone that housed 360 deities. It was here, in a cave high above this desert trading outpost, that a single revelation would ignite a transformation more dramatic than any military conquest. Within a century, the armies of Arabia would shatter both the Byzantine and Sasanian empires. Within 2 centuries, a new civilization would stretch from Spain to India. This is the story of Islam. How a merchant's vision in the Arabian desert became a force capable of reshaping 3 continents, preserving the wisdom of ancient Greece, advancing the frontiers of science, and creating architectural marvels that still inspire wonder today. From the lightning conquests of the early caliphs to the golden age of Baghdad, from the Crusades to the Ottoman Empire, from the colonial challenge to modern struggles, this is the entire history of Islam, 14 centuries in the making. Today, as several European nations face social tensions and identity crises, as protests emerge from both Muslim communities seeking recognition and native populations eager to preserve their traditions, understanding Islam's complex history becomes essential. This ancient story continues to shape our modern world in ways both profound and controversial. To truly comprehend this story, we must start from the very beginning. In 570 CE, the Arabian Peninsula was a land caught between empires. The Byzantines controlled Syria and Palestine. The Sasanians ruled Persia and Mesopotamia. Between them lay a harsh desert inhabited by Bedouin tribes who knew no master but the unforgiving sun. At the crossroads of this world stood Mecca, wealthy from caravan trade, connecting India and China with Europe and Africa. But Mecca was more than a trading post. It was a sacred sanctuary, home to the Kaaba housing 360 idols representing the gods of Arabia's many tribes. Music. This was the year of the elephant. Abraha, the Christian ruler of Yemen, marched north with war elephants to destroy the Kaaba and force Arabian pilgrims to worship at his cathedral. But as his army approached Mecca, the elephants refused to advance. Flocks of birds descended, carrying stones that decimated the invading force. The Meccans believed their gods had protected them. It was in this miraculous year that a child was born who would change the world forever. His name was Muhammad ibn Abdullah, but he would never know his father. Abdullah had died on a trading expedition, leaving behind a pregnant wife and modest inheritance. Following Meccan custom, the infant Muhammad was sent to live with Bedouins. In the desert, his foster mother Halima would later claim that from the moment she took the child, her flocks grew fat and her camels gave abundant milk. But tragedy would soon shatter the boy's world. When Muhammad was 6, his mother Amina died while visiting his father's grave. The orphan child was taken in by his grandfather, Abidi al-Mataleb, keeper of the sacred Zamzam well. But when Muhammad was 8, his grandfather, too, passed away, leaving him in the care of his uncle, Abu Talib. Under Abu Talib's protection, Muhammad learned the ways of the desert. As he grew into manhood, he developed a reputation throughout Mecca as Al-Amin, the trustworthy one. In a society where tribal loyalties often trumped honesty, Muhammad stood apart. He never lied, never broke a promise, never took advantage of the weak. When disputes arose between tribes, they would ask Muhammad to arbitrate. When the Kaaba needed rebuilding after flood damage, the tribes quarreled over who would place the sacred black stone. Muhammad solved the crisis by placing the stone on a cloak and having representatives from each tribe lift it together, then guiding it into place himself. It was this reputation that brought Muhammad to the attention of Khadija bint Khuwailid, one of Mecca's wealthiest merchants. Twice, widowed, she'd built a trading empire stretching from Syria to Yemen. She hired the 25-year-old Muhammad to lead a caravan to Damascus. The journey was a remarkable success, but more impressive than his commercial skill. Greater than music. Greater than was Muhammad's character. When Khadija at 40 proposed marriage through a mutual friend, Muhammad accepted gladly. Their wedding defied social conventions, an older, wealthy widow choosing a younger man of modest means. but it was also a love story that would become one of history's most enduring partnerships. For 15 years, Muhammad lived as a prosperous merchant, blessed with a loving family. Khadija bore him 4 daughters and 2 sons who died in infancy. But as he entered his 30s, a restlessness grew within him. Mecca's prosperity had brought corruption and inequality. The wealthy lived in luxury, while the poor struggled. Tribal warfare claimed lives over matters of honor. The sacred pilgrimage had become commercialized. Muhammad began withdrawing to a cave called Hira high on Mount Nur, where he could look down upon the city and reflect on the spiritual music emptiness around him. In the silence of the cave, he would meditate on the nature of existence, on the possibility of a single, all-powerful God who ruled the universe. These retreats became more frequent as Muhammad approached his 40th year. Khadija, understanding her husband's spiritual needs, would send food and water to sustain Musicim. She never questioned his searching, recognizing that he sought something the material world could not provide. It was during Ramadan, in 610 CE, that Muhammad's life changed forever. He had been meditating in the cave for several days when, in the depths of night, he became aware of a presence of overwhelming power filling the cave. A voice commanded him. "Read." Muhammad, who could neither read nor write, replied in terror, "I cannot read." The presence seized him, embracing him so tightly he felt his breath would be crushed. Again came the command. "Read." Again, Muhammad replied, "I cannot read." A third time the embrace came, more powerful than before, and then the voice spoke words that would echo through centuries. "Read in the name of your Lord who created man from a clot of blood." The story continues to unfold, written by each new generation seeking to balance the eternal with the temporal, the sacred with the secular in an ever-changing world. But in our interconnected world, the choices made by Muslims everywhere will affect not just their own communities, but the survival of the civilizations that have welcomed them. The sun never sets on the Islamic world, and as it rises each day, the call to prayer reminds music, the faithful, that some truths transcend time itself. But the question remains whether those truths can coexist with the values that have made the modern world possible.